Are you tired of feeling like life is always an uphill battle? Do you feel like your dreams have faded away, and that no matter how hard you fight, the world doesn't seem to hear you? If you've ever thought that everything is difficult for you, if you wonder why others seem to flow while you barely survive, this message is for you. Because yes, there is a way to talk to the universe and make it listen. It's not cheap magic or empty formulas. It's a real path, proven by sages, mystics, and seekers throughout history. A path that demands more than just desire from you. It requires awareness, willpower, and an open heart. But if you decide to walk it, the reward will not fail. You will discover that the universe was never against you. It was simply waiting for you to learn its language. Chapter 1. The Vibrational Nature of Reality. All great traditions affirm that the universe is not inert or random, but a living fabric of vibrant energy. The principle of vibration from Hermetic philosophy proclaims, "Nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates." This ancient truth, recorded in the Kabbalion, tells us that everything is in motion, from the smallest particles to the farthest stars. Modern science seems to be catching up with this wisdom. Quantum physics describes matter as condensed energy vibrating at different frequencies. Even Nikola Tesla emphasized this when he said that to understand the secrets of the universe, we must think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Eastern cultures have expressed similar ideas. In Hinduism, the sacred sound Om represents the primordial vibration that gave rise to existence. In Indian and Chinese philosophies, concepts like prana or chi reflect that vital vibrational force flowing through everything. The universe is alive with energy, say the Vedic and Taoist sages. And today we understand that even a seemingly solid object is made up of atoms in constant motion. What does all this mean in our daily lives? That our own thoughts and emotions are also vibrating energy. Each thought emits a frequency, and our emotions act as amplifiers of that vibration. Imagine for a moment that your mind is a transmitter. Your thoughts are the signals you send out into the universe's quantum field. In fact, Buddha taught, all that we are is the result of what we have thought. It is founded on our thoughts. It is made up of our thoughts. In other words, the reality you experience reflects the vibrational quality of your inner world. The idea that the universe works as a vibrational mirror is not only central in Buddhism and Hermeticism, but also in the contemporary New Thought movement. Authors from this spiritual school believe that the original substance of the universe responds to our thoughts. When you vibrate in fear, doubt, or anger, so-called low frequencies, it's like tuning your inner transmitter to dense or conflicting experiences. On the other hand, by cultivating states of love, joy, or peace, so-called high frequencies, you harmonize with more positive experiences. This isn't simple thought magic, it's a natural consequence. Like attracts like in vibrational terms. As an ancient Vedanta proverb says, the world is a projection of the mind. And Max Planck, the father of quantum physics, even suggested that a conscious mind underlies matter, acting as the matrix of everything. This aligns with mystical visions where divinity, or the universe, whispers through synchronicities and reflections according to the energy we emit. Before we can consciously talk to the universe, we need to awaken to this fundamental truth. We are vibrational beings in a vibrational universe. Each of our thoughts,
feelings, and even silences send waves into the universal field. Becoming aware of this is the first step to begin speaking with intention. In the next chapter, we'll learn how to focus that energy through the clarity of intention. But for now, simply embrace this revelation. You are not separate from the universe. You are part of it, made of the same dancing energy. Life listens to you in the invisible language of vibrations. Isn't this constant conversation a wonderful thing? As the Hermetic sages said, understanding vibration is drawing closer to the secret language of creation.
Chapter 2. Setting Clear Intentions. Every conscious creation begins with a clear intention. Different traditions have expressed this truth in surprisingly similar ways. In Yoga and Vedanta, there is the concept of sankalpa, meaning resolution or intention born from the heart and mind. San means to connect with, and kalpa refers to time and the deep mind, suggesting that by formulating an intention, you align with your subconscious and the flow of the universe's timing. In spiritual practice, making a sankalpa is like planting a seed in your consciousness, a promise from your soul expressed in the present tense and in positive form as if it were already reality. This closely resembles what modern manifestation teachers say: visualize and declare your desire as already fulfilled. In the early 20th century, the pioneers of the New Thought movement, a philosophical spiritual current that gave rise to the modern law of attraction, insisted on the power of focused thought. Wallace D. Wattles, author of The Science of Getting Rich, said that forming a clear mental image of what you desire and holding it with faith and purpose sets creative forces in motion within the universe. A vague longing isn't enough. Clarity is the blueprint, the architectural plan of your manifestation. Imagine the universe as a master builder. How could it deliver what you desire if your request is confusing or contradictory? Mystical Christian traditions also embrace this idea. "Ask, and it shall be given to you," said Jesus, but it's remarkable how often he emphasized faith and clarity when asking. We'll see later how he taught to ask believing, but first, let's focus on what we ask for. Setting a clear intention means defining, with detail and sincerity, what your heart truly longs for. It's an act of self-knowledge and mental focus. Many people say, "I want to be happy," or "I want more money," without much precision. However, various teachings encourage us to specify and feel the essence of what we desire. For example, Western metaphysical texts often say the universe responds to the clarity of vision. It's certainly not the same to say, "I want a change in my life," as to declare, "I choose a creative job where I can serve and prosper in this field." The second statement has sharpness and direction. In psychology, we know that setting concrete goals produces more tangible results than vague wishes. In the spiritual realm, it's the same. Energy follows attention. A powerful intention also comes from connection with your inner purpose. Here, different paths converge. In Eastern philosophy, it's called dharma, your soul's purpose. In Western thought, it's often your deep vocation. When you align your intentions with your purpose, with a meaningful why, you generate a magnetic force. So ask yourself, why do I want this? How do I feel when I imagine it fulfilled? That emotion is key. It gives life to the intention. Neville Goddard, a 20th century mystic, insisted on assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled as if it were already real when making your requests. We'll come back to the power of belief and feeling in later chapters. For now, just remember, a clear intention goes hand in hand with inner conviction.
And honesty is also vital when setting your intentions. Clarity doesn't mean rigid inflexibility. It means authenticity. Ancient traditions like Buddhism emphasize right intention, part of the Noble Eightfold Path, which means having pure purposes, non-harmful ones, aligned with your deepest truth. In our context, this suggests that your intentions will flourish better if they come from your heart, not from wounded ego or envy. For example, wanting to manifest financial abundance is great, but yogic tradition would invite you to reflect. Is it a genuine desire for security and fulfillment to do good, or is it born from fear or comparison? Intention carries ethical responsibility too. Let's take a practical case. You want more abundance. A clear way to intend this would be, I am creating prosperity in my life, allowing income from source to come in so I can achieve objective that nourishes my life and the lives of others. Notice it's in the present tense. It's specific, and it includes a why. That specificity doesn't limit the universe. It actually gives it a defined energetic mold. Think of ancient prayers or spells. They always had careful words and details because they understood that focused words move energy. In summary, setting a clear intention is like drawing with precision in your mind what you want to see manifested on the canvas of your reality. Traditions like creative visualization, popularized by New Age authors, or ancient practices like writing a request on paper and offering it in ritual, agree on this. When you clarify your desire, the universe begins aligning the pieces. As a prosperity teacher once said, a scattered mind gets scattered results. A focused mind gets concrete results. An entrepreneur, Henry Ford, famously put it this way: whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Reminding us that our conviction, or lack of it, about our goal will determine the outcome. As you finish this chapter, take a moment to write down or say aloud one clear intention you have. Feel how, by doing so, you are speaking to the universe, drawing in vibration that which you choose to co-create. In the next chapter, we'll explore the invisible fuel that powers your intention, because an intention without faith is like a blueprint without a foundation.
Chapter 3. The Power of Belief. You've defined what you desire. Now ask yourself honestly, do you believe it's possible? Do you believe you deserve it? At this point in the journey, the power of belief comes into play. Spiritual and psychological teachings agree. Our beliefs, especially the subconscious ones, shape our reality. Jesus of Nazareth expressed it bluntly: according to your faith, let it be done to you. And in Buddhist wisdom, we find, the mind is everything. What you think, you become. In modern times, psychologists like Carl Jung observed that unless we make our deep-seated beliefs conscious, they will direct our life, and we'll call it destiny. Belief isn't just intellectual opinion. Here, we refer to that deep emotional conviction that can either empower us or sabotage us. To believe is to feel something as true. Neville Goddard taught that felt imagination is the way to manifestation, and that effective prayer means assuming the feeling of the desire already fulfilled. But what happens if, on the surface, you say, I want this, while inside a little voice whispers, it won't happen, or I don't deserve it? Then your beliefs are misaligned with your intention, and the universe will receive mixed signals. Vibrationally speaking, it's like stepping on the gas and the brake at the same time.
Mystical traditions have emphasized faith as the bridge between the invisible and the visible. In mystical Christianity, they speak of faith that moves mountains. A phrase attributed to Jesus in the Gospel of Mark says, "Therefore I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours." This is a direct instruction to ask, believing it's already granted. In manifestation practice, this means acting and feeling in coherence with the desired reality, even before seeing it with your eyes. It's not self-deception, it's inner reprogramming. Think of elite athletes. They visualize themselves winning and believe in their victory before the competition. That belief aligns their mind and body toward success. In contrast, someone who doubts themselves from the start almost guarantees failure. Henry Ford, from a practical standpoint, said, "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right." This sums up the self-fulfilling power of belief. In law of attraction terms, you attract what aligns with your subconscious expectations. If deep down you believe, "I'm not worthy of love," you may sabotage relationships or fail to notice signs of affection. If you believe money is scarce and hard to get, even if you make affirmations of abundance, you'll emit a vibration of lack that blocks opportunities. That's why this chapter invites you to dive into your subconscious and uproot limiting beliefs. Many come from childhood, culture, or past experiences. Techniques like neuro-linguistic programming or cognitive therapy work precisely on identifying and changing those beliefs. But even millennia ago, sages knew this. Know thyself also meant knowing the stories you tell yourself. Spiritually speaking, belief is permission. If your intention is the seed, belief is the fertile or barren soil in which that seed falls. An expansive belief like, "The universe supports me," or "I am capable and worthy of good things," acts as rich soil in which your desires sprout more easily. On the other hand, beliefs of unworthiness, fear, or cynicism are like dry soil full of thorns.
How can we transform our beliefs? Ancient and modern techniques converge here. The repetition of positive affirmations, found in Vedic mantras, devotional prayers, and modern methods like those of Louise Hay, is a way to reprogram the subconscious. For example, repeating with feeling, "I am worthy of the love and abundance I seek," begins to counter years of internal sabotage. Of course, it's not about repeating empty words. You have to feel the affirmation and act accordingly. Meditation also helps by making us aware of automatic thoughts and allowing us to replace them with higher perspectives. Even science has recognized the placebo effect, where belief in healing genuinely contributes to physical healing. That's how powerful belief is. Spiritually, belief means trusting in greater forces. Many times we talk about manifestation, but carry anxiety. What if it doesn't work? How will it come? I don't see it yet. That worry reveals shaky faith. Spiritual teachings console us. Trust the invisible process. As a Sufi saying goes, "Trust in God, but tie your camel." It means have faith while doing your part in the world. This chapter is a call to align your mind with your intention. Do you truly believe the universe is abundant? Do you believe you deserve to experience what you desire? If not, this is the time to work on that with love, not to blame yourself, but to free yourself. Remember inspiring stories of people who overcame great odds because they believed in themselves or in a higher purpose. That willpower is nothing more than unshakable belief in action. The mystic Saint Teresa of Avila said, "Faith is the certainty of what is hoped for." Cultivate that serene certainty. At the end of this section, make a commitment to yourself. Dig inside and challenge any belief that contradicts your dreams. Replace it with one that supports them. You become what you believe, so choose beliefs worthy of the life you want to co-create. In the next chapter, we'll combine intention and belief in the act of asking the universe, an act that, as you'll see, is not begging, but a creative declaration.
Chapter 4. Asking the Universe with Clarity and Faith. Asking the universe is not like begging a distant, indifferent power. On the contrary, it is an intimate act of co-creation. If you already understand that your thoughts vibrate and your belief empowers them, you are ready for the next key, asking as if you had already received. The words of Jesus in the Gospel of Mark echo once more. Believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. Here lies the secret of asking correctly, fully trusting that the answer is on its way, even from the very moment of the request. In Christian tradition, this is called expectant faith. In Neville Goddard's teaching, it is called living in the end. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Neville wrote, "Prayer is the art of assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled." Do you see? Asking is not begging in lack, but affirming with conviction. But practically speaking, how do you ask the universe? First, with clear intention, as we saw in Chapter 2. Second, with emotion and faith, Chapter 3. And now we add a third element, letting go of the request, releasing it. Many modern manifestation guides describe this step. Make your request and release it to the universe. Curiously, this echoes the wisdom of detachment in Eastern traditions. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna advises acting with full dedication but renouncing attachment to the outcome. When asking, it's much the same. You express your desire clearly, plant it in the universal matrix, and then trust it will germinate in perfect time and form. A common mistake is anxious insistence. For example, someone says, "Universe, please, I want this job," and then repeats it every day with impatience. But what's really vibrating is doubt and despair. That attitude is understandable, but counterproductive. It's like planting a seed and constantly digging it up to check if it's growing. The poor plant can't take root. Most mystical traditions agree that true prayer is done once from the heart and then sustained with an attitude of trust. This is also taught in Christian metaphysics with scientific prayer, such as in unity or religious science, where the request is made once, declared as already fulfilled, and then maintained with gratitude. Let's recall a powerful Bible passage. Whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. That's the attitude, asking while knowing. Instead of saying, "Please give me this, I don't have it," it's about feeling, "Thank you, because this I need is already mine in spirit, and I trust I'll see it manifested soon." Some even prefer words like declare or affirm instead of ask, to emphasize that we're not begging, but claiming something aligned with our highest good. In modern personal growth language, you are already a co-creator with the universe, so you have the divine right to ask for the good you long for. It's not about demanding selfishly, it's about collaborating with the divine. A mystic might say that God, or the universe, desires those beautiful things, health, love, prosperity, fulfillment, through you. And by asking for them, you give permission for them to work in your life.
Now, asking with clarity and faith also means staying coherent after the request. What does this mean? That your thoughts, words, and actions afterward do not contradict what you asked for. Imagine you declared with faith,
I am attracting a healthy, loving relationship into my life. If the next day you go around saying, I'll probably end up alone, there are no good people left, you're sending mixed signals. Spiritual teachings invite us to act as if we were already moving toward that reality. It's not pretending, it's adopting the congruent vibrational stance. Confidence shows itself in daily coherence. And how about the details? Often, when asking, we can be specific to a certain extent. For example, I want to move into a house with these characteristics. But it's also wise to mentally add, this or something better comes to me in a harmonious way. This phrase, used in New Thought, acknowledges that perhaps the universe has an even better version of what we're asking for. It's like saying, I trust your wisdom, universe. In Sufism and other traditions, people often say, Inshallah, if God wills, not as resignation, but as trusting surrender. Ask for the best, but release your attachment to how and when. That's when miracles happen in unexpected ways. To put it simply, visualize your request as shooting an arrow. You aim with clarity, you draw the bow with strength, emotion, and belief, and you release the string, trust. The arrow flies to the target. If you keep holding on to it, it'll never reach its mark. Here, letting go means to stop obsessively worrying. This doesn't mean doing nothing. You'll take inspired action, as we'll see, but it means you don't inwardly doubt providence. You're at peace, knowing the answer is on its way. Ancient magical traditions suggested rituals to formalize this asking. For example, lighting a candle with an intention and letting it burn out symbolized offering your request to the divine fire. In Christian prayer, saying Amen means so be it, a closing of trust. Find your way. It could be writing a letter to the universe and keeping it, or simply declaring, this is done in the spiritual plane. Thank you. When you ask in this aligned way, something beautiful happens. You begin to notice signs and synchronicities. Maybe in the following days you'll coincidentally come across information related to your desire, or helpful people appear, or you feel new intuitions. These are small answers from the universe guiding you. Acknowledge them and give thanks. We'll explore gratitude in Chapter 6. In short, asking the universe with clarity and faith means declaring what you want, why you want it, your heart's intention, and trusting that the universal intelligence is already orchestrating its manifestation. It's a dialogue. You express your intention, and the universe responds by moving energies in your favor. As the mystic poet Rumi said, live life as if everything is rigged in your favor. Ask from that certainty that life conspires for your good, and you'll see the way open before you. You've launched your desire rocket into the cosmos. What comes next? Sometimes after asking, there comes a period of apparent silence or waiting. This is where many people give up. The next chapter addresses the key virtue in manifestation. Trusting the process, even when you don't see immediate results. Let's explore how to maintain faith and a high vibration while the universe works behind the scenes.
Chapter 5. Trusting the process. The seed has been planted. Now it needs time and care to grow. Trusting the process may be the most challenging test for our impatient mind, but all spiritual traditions praise patience and trust as supreme virtues. Imagine a farmer. After sowing, they don't dig up the soil every hour to check on the seed. They water it and trust nature's rhythms. In the same way, when manifesting our desires, we need serene faith that the universe is acting in perfect timing, even if our senses don't yet perceive it. Having faith doesn't mean sitting idly by. It means persevering without anguish. In Taoism, there is the principle of Wu Wei, or non-forcing. The Tao does nothing, yet nothing is left undone.
This apparent paradox teaches that when you flow with the natural order, without anxious pushing, things resolve with greater harmony. In our life, this translates to trusting that once you've asked and aligned your energy, the universe will move at its due course. This is where Rumi's phrase truly resonates. Live life as if everything is rigged in your favor. How do you live like that? By replacing worry with positive expectancy. Many times after setting an intention, days or weeks may pass without apparent change, and doubt can creep in. Did they even hear me up there? But let us remember that manifestation often involves a complex orchestration of events, people, and synchronicities. Divine timing, some call it grace, others call it magic, works with perfect timing, often beyond our understanding. Esoteric traditions speak of divine time versus human time. What feels like delay to us is actually preparation. Perhaps you need to develop a certain skill, or maybe someone else involved must learn something before your shared request comes true. Trust that you are exactly where you need to be, and that the apparent delays are also part of the manifestation. A popular saying in the New Age movement says, God's delays are not God's denials. In other words, a delay isn't a no. It's a not yet, because something better is being prepared, or the time isn't optimal. Christian mysticism offers the beautiful teaching of divine providence, believing that the universe, or God, provides for our needs in the right way. Saint Therese of Lisieux spoke of spiritual childhood, surrendering with trust into the arms of the divine, like a child trusts their parents. This isn't naive, it's cultivating inner certainty that we are not alone in managing our life. When you practice that trust, your vibration stays high even in uncertainty, which paradoxically speeds up manifestation. On the contrary, anxiety and impatience signal distrust and may block the flow. Let's use a scientific analogy. In quantum physics, there is the observer effect, where the researcher's expectation influences the experiment's outcome. If after asking, you're constantly watching with impatience to see if it's happening, that anxious energy may interfere, just like measuring prematurely can alter an experiment. But if you ask and then go on living joyfully and trustingly, removing your analytical eye, you allow the quantum field to respond freely to your intention.
Of course, trusting doesn't mean inaction. This is where the concept of inspired action comes in. Unlike frantic action born of fear, I must force this to happen now, inspired action is subtle and fluid. You feel an inner nudge or a sign, and you act accordingly with calm enthusiasm. It's like following breadcrumbs the universe leaves. For example, after asking for a new job, you might feel the urge to call an old colleague or attend an event where you meet someone key. It's important to move when the universe whispers. That's active collaboration. A Sufi saying complements the camel one: trust in God and tie your camel. Trust the process and do what is yours to do in the material world. In modern terms, pray as if everything depended on God, but work as if everything depended on you. That seeming contradiction actually balances out. Do your best, but with a detached attitude, knowing a higher force has your back. How do you know you're truly trusting? By the presence of inner peace. You feel relief because you've dropped the worry. Also, by practicing anticipatory gratitude. Instead of complaining about what you don't yet see, you begin to thank for what you sense is coming. Many find it helpful to keep a gratitude journal. We'll dive deeper into this in Chapter 6, even including advance thank yous. Saying, "Thank you, universe, because you are orchestrating my desire in the best possible way," is a powerful affirmation of trust. Another sign of trust is how you reinterpret challenges. Let's say that right after asking to improve your financial situation, an unexpected expense arises. You could think, the universe is punishing me. Or, with trust, you could see it as a cleansing, or a chance to prove that your abundance doesn't depend on fear of spending. Those who trust turn obstacles into stepping stones. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher-emperor, wrote, "What stands in the way becomes the way." This Stoic wisdom encourages us to see every challenge not as a definitive block, but as part of the path toward the goal. Sometimes the universe teaches us patience by strengthening our spirit through small trials. All epic hero stories include a moment when nothing seems to happen, or when all seems lost just before the breakthrough. In alchemy, they spoke of the nigredo, the dark night that precedes transformation into gold. St. John of the Cross described the dark night of the soul, a period of dryness and spiritual trial, as the prelude to divine union. When you go through stagnant periods, remember this: the seed is putting down invisible roots underground. Keep cultivating your faith day by day. In practice, what can you do while you trust? Take care of yourself, your energy. Follow your joy. Keep growing into the person who will be able to sustain what you asked for. If you asked for a relationship, love yourself and become the kind of loving partner you wish to have. If you asked for professional success, keep learning or honing your skills, preparing yourself for that promotion. This is a time of active preparation, but without agony. Trust isn't passive waiting, it's preparation with certainty. Think of Noah building the ark before the rain came, trusting divine guidance. In conclusion, trusting the process means embracing uncertainty with the inner certainty that the universe conspires in your favor. It means going to sleep each night saying, "I don't know exactly how this will work out, but I know it will for my highest good." Those who trust radiate a calm vibration that, in fact, accelerates solutions. And since everything is energy, that vibration acts like a beacon guiding manifestations towards you. Follow this wise Sufi advice. Trust what's to come, because the one who orchestrates the stars has orchestrated your story. We're almost full circle now. You've asked and you're trusting. The first manifestations may begin to appear, perhaps in small ways. How do you fully receive them and make space for more? That's the next chapter's topic, learning to receive with gratitude and openness without sabotaging the blessings knocking at your door.
Chapter 6. Receiving with Gratitude and Openness. This chapter takes us from the art of asking to the art of receiving. It may seem obvious. Of course I want to receive what I asked for. But in practice, many of us unconsciously block the arrival of our desires. Why would that happen? The causes are often feelings of unworthiness, fear of change, or simply not recognizing the ways in which the universe delivers our requests, which are often not exactly as we imagined. That's why receiving is a skill we can consciously develop by practicing openness, presence, and gratitude. Let's start with the worthiness of receiving. Many spiritual traditions emphasize humility, but beware. True humility isn't denying your worthiness, it's recognizing the divine source of all blessings. Some people, out of modesty or low self-esteem, reject gifts, help, or compliments. Has this happened to you? At the vibrational level, that attitude tells the universe, "No thank you, I don't need or want more good." So the universe, always respectful, withdraws. To manifest, we must affirm that we are worthy and ready to receive all good things. As A Course in Miracles says, "Do not turn away the love heaven sends you." If inside you there's any belief like, "I don't deserve this,"
common due to conditioning, it's time to remind yourself that you are a child of the universe, heir to universal abundance. In the Bible, the merciful Father says to the eldest son, "Son, you are always with me, and everything I have is yours." That's the attitude to cultivate, feeling you are part of the abundance of the universal Father or Mother. Once you allow yourself to be worthy, the next step is to stay alert to how manifestation comes. Often, the universe responds subtly or unexpectedly. What you asked for may arrive in different wrappings. For example, you asked for prosperity and suddenly an idea for a project comes up, which will require work. Or you longed for a partner and a new friendship appears, which later grows into romance, rather than the instant love at first sight you imagined. If you're too attached to how the manifestation should look, you might not recognize it. Here's where mental openness comes in. Traditions like Zen Buddhism value the beginner's mind, free of rigid expectations and open to wonder. Keep an attitude of joyful curiosity. Where and how will my desire show up? I'm open to surprises. That way you won't dismiss blessings in disguise. Remember the saying, God writes straight with crooked lines. Trust the universe's intelligence to choose the best form. Gratitude is the magnet that intensifies reception. As soon as you see signs or partial deliveries, give thanks sincerely. Imagine the universe as a generous giver. When you show appreciation for what is given, it feels moved to give more. On the contrary, ignoring or belittling gifts is like closing the door. Rumi said it beautifully. Gratitude is the wine of the soul. Drink it. It frees you from your prison and lets you dance with the stars. Being grateful raises your vibration to the frequency of fulfillment. Even if what you receive seems small, gratitude amplifies it. For example, you asked for financial improvement and got an unexpected discount on a bill. Give thanks for it as a sign of abundant flow. You asked for health, and today you woke up with more energy. Celebrate it. This attitude is not just spiritually correct, but also psychologically focuses you on the positive, creating a virtuous cycle where good things grow. As Meister Eckhart said, if the only prayer you ever say in your life is thank you, it would suffice.
It's also crucial to actively receive. That may sound odd. Isn't receiving passive? It means saying yes when the opportunity arrives. Sometimes, out of insecurity, we hesitate or postpone when an open door appears. How many times has someone offered you help and you said, "No, it's fine, don't worry," out of pride or awkwardness? Let's learn to say, "Thank you, I accept." Active receiving means answering that call, attending that meeting, signing that contract when the right chance comes along. It takes courage, because receiving what we long for can push us out of our comfort zone. Ironically, we may fear success or love because it implies growth and commitment. This is where the trust from the previous chapter comes in. Trust that you deserve to handle the blessings. Trust that you'll know how to adapt to the new reality you asked for. The universe will never give you more than you can bear, but it may stretch you just enough to expand your capacities. Say yes. Speaking of expanding capacities, there's a saying, prepare yourself for what you ask for. If you manifested something big, make sure there's room for it in your life. For example, if you asked for a relationship, is there space in your life, physically, emotionally, in your schedule, to share with someone? If you asked for abundance, are your finances in order to handle increased income? A bank account ready, debts planned, etc.? These symbolic gestures tell the universe you're ready to receive. It's like having the basket ready for the harvest. A sweet part of receiving is celebration. When your desire or part of it, manifests, celebrate. Many times, we rush from one achievement to the next desire without savoring what we got. Every tradition has ways to celebrate: Thanksgiving prayers, offerings, feasts, etc. Celebration anchors the manifestation vibrationally and sends a message of appreciation. You can celebrate by writing down what you've achieved, sharing the good news with friends who genuinely rejoice with you, or simply savoring the moment mindfully. That magnetic joy opens the channel even more for continuous receiving. Let's not forget, receiving also means sharing. Stagnant water rots. Flowing water stays fresh. When you receive blessings, share part of them, whether it's knowledge, help, material generosity. This isn't just ethical. It keeps the wheel of abundance turning. Many prosperity philosophies speak of tithing or giving, not as religious duty, but as a principle of circulation. Those who receive and give show full confidence in the infinite source without clinging. And what you give always returns multiplied in some way. In short, receiving with gratitude and openness is an art that combines worthiness, awareness, appreciation, and timely action. It's a dance with the universe's offerings. Think of it this way: you've been talking to the universe, and now the universe responds. Listen to that response with an open heart. If at some point you notice that what you asked for arrives, and you feel resistance, fear of change, etc., take a deep breath, remember why you asked for it, and allow life to bless you. You created it. You attracted it. So say, yes, thank you. With this chapter, we have practically completed the manifestation cycle. However, life is dynamic, and sometimes challenges arise along the way. What happens if there are delays or unexpected bumps? How do you stay on track when things seem to go off course? Our journey concludes, before the epilogue, by addressing exactly that: handling setbacks and staying aligned. Because a master co-creator isn't someone who never faces difficulties, but someone who knows how to turn them into growth.
Chapter 7. Handling Setbacks and Staying Aligned. The path of conscious manifestation is not always linear, nor free of obstacles. Even when you follow all the steps perfectly, life may present you with challenges, delays, or unexpected twists. But here lies a profound truth. Setbacks are part of the path, not the end of it. This chapter draws from Stoic wisdom, Buddhist teachings, and the psychology of resilience to help you hold your vibration and purpose, even in the storm. In Stoic philosophy, Marcus Aurelius left us a brilliant maxim we've mentioned before: what stands in the way becomes the way. The Stoics saw obstacles as opportunities to practice virtues, patience, courage, wisdom. We can adopt that attitude. When a blockage appears, ask yourself, what is this trying to teach me? For example, imagine you've trusted and persevered for a long time, but you don't get the job promotion you hoped for. You could fall into frustration, or you could see that setback as a redirection. Maybe it will push you toward a better opportunity, or force you to develop new skills. Sometimes a no from the universe is really a yes to something greater. Many can testify that the relationship that didn't work out, or the door that closed, later led them to something much more aligned and fulfilling. The key is not to give up or fall into a victim mindset. Remember, the universe doesn't conspire against you.
Sometimes it challenges you to refine yourself. Buddhism teaches that suffering comes from resistance to what is. When setbacks happen, our initial reaction is often resistance. I didn't want this to happen. It's unfair. That reaction is natural. But after the first outburst, we have the power to shift the narrative. Accepting the situation as it is, which is not passive resignation, but acknowledgement of reality, allows us to respond rather than react. In meditation, we practice observing thoughts and emotions without getting dragged by them. Likewise, in the face of a problem, observe it objectively. What exactly happened? What options do I have now? This equanimous view is the calm within the storm. From there, you can choose conscious actions, rather than sinking into, why me?
Let's remember the airplane metaphor. When a pilot encounters turbulence, they don't curse the sky for conspiring against them. They know it's part of flying and adjust the course or speed until they get through it. You are the pilot of your reality. A setback is temporary turbulence. Hold the wheel, your vision and intention, firmly and make small vibrational adjustments. Perhaps you need to reaffirm your why, remember your progress, or practice extra self-care to stay encouraged. These actions are like stabilizing the flight. Practical tools for these moments. Let's start with gratitude again. Though it may sound countercultural, even thanking the challenge can be transformative. For example, I didn't get that job, but I'm grateful for the clarity that I want something different. Or, I argued with my partner. I'm grateful for realizing what we need to heal together. This doesn't mean conformism, but transforming complaint energy into learning energy. As Epictetus said, men are disturbed not by things, but by the views they take of them. Change your interpretation, and you change your experience. Another tool, spiritual or community support. Almost all spiritual paths highlight the importance of community, sangha in Buddhism, congregation in religion, modern support groups. You don't have to face rough patches alone. Seek inspiration in sacred texts or personal development books. Surround yourself with positive people who reinforce your faith, or simply talk with a trustworthy friend. Sometimes voicing our doubts and fears to someone understanding lightens the load and lets us see solutions where before we only saw overwhelm. Also remember how manifestation works. Often, right before dawn, the night is darkest. Many manifestors share that when they were closest to achieving their desire, they felt the strongest urge to give up because nothing seemed to work. If you feel that, it may be a sign you're very close to a breakthrough. The Indian sage Paramahansa Yogananda said, "Failure is success postponed." Don't give up 5 minutes before the miracle. Persevering with resilience is the hallmark of masters.
Think of Thomas Edison and the light bulb story. Thousands of failed attempts, and he said, "I didn't fail. I discovered 1,000 ways that won't work." With every failure, he was closer to success. In your case, every setback teaches you something: patience, technique improvement, character strengthening, or goal refinement. Maybe you realize what you were asking for wasn't exactly what your soul needed, and you adjust course. It's okay to recalibrate along the way. Flexibility is key. Hold your vision, but stay open in the details. Spirituality reminds us that we don't control everything, and that's a good thing. There is a broader, mysterious plan where our individual manifestations interact with others and with collective learning. Sometimes your plans pause because you're meant to be available for someone else, or because you need inner growth before receiving your goal. Trust that loving higher intelligence. As the saying goes, God is never late nor early. He always arrives on time. Keep this in mind when impatience tries to steal your peace. To close this chapter, handling setbacks means rising above the waves instead of letting them sink you. It's keeping the faith despite appearances. It's ultimately graduating as a conscious co-creator, not just on sunny days, but also in the rain. And when you achieve that, nothing can stop you. You'll have mastered the vibrational language of the universe. You'll know how to rewrite your energy, even in adverse events, turning lead into inner gold, like the alchemists. You've come a long way on this journey of how to talk to the universe. Now, let's recap the integrated lessons, and I invite you to look at your life with new eyes, the eyes of a being awakened to their co-creative power.
Conclusion: the journey of the conscious co-creator. Throughout these chapters, we've woven together threads of ancient and modern wisdom to reveal one great realization. You've always been talking to the universe, only now you do it with awareness and intention. You are no longer a fearful petitioner before a capricious destiny. You are an active collaborator in the creation of your reality, attuned to life's deepest laws. Let's take a bird's-eye look back at the path we've walked. Chapter 1: Vibration. You learned that everything is vibrating energy. You understood, as both Hermeticism and quantum science teach, that your thoughts and emotions emit frequencies that influence your experience. You awakened to the idea that the universe is a vibrational mirror reflecting your inner state. This was the foundation. Chapter 2: Clear Intention. You discovered the power of defining with precision what you desire, aligning it with your heart. The new thought traditions reminded you that a clear vision, held with faith, activates creative forces. And ancient practices like Sankalpa taught you that a true intention connects your mind with your soul. You learned to make your requests to the universe with specificity and authenticity, knowing that clarity is a creative act in itself. Chapter 3: Belief, Faith. You realized that to believe is to create. Inspired by words of Buddha, Christ, and contemporary teachers, you saw that without inner conviction, intentions remain hollow. You examined your subconscious beliefs, challenged those that no longer served you, and embraced empowering new ones, like, I am worthy, it's possible, the universe supports me. You practiced feeling your desire as real, cultivating that faith that moves mountains. Chapter 4: Asking with Confidence. You learned to ask by declaring, not begging. We integrated the teaching of asking and letting go, trusting that when you ask, believing it is already done, the universe responds at once. Neville Goddard guided you in imaginative prayer, and you embraced the attitude of thanking in advance. You understood that asking is a loving dialogue with the source, a yes to collaboration. From then on, your requests carried the imprint of certainty, and you stopped pleading from a place of lack. Chapter 5: Trusting the Process. Here you cultivated patience and surrender. Inspired by Rumi's wisdom, to live as if the universe conspires in your favor, you embraced the idea that everything arrives at the perfect moment. You developed resilience amid uncertainty, maintaining presence and positive thought as the seed grew underground. You practiced Wu Wei, stopping the urge to force results and allowing things to flow. This peace in waiting became your ally, helping you avoid self-sabotage by premature despair. Chapter 6: Receiving with Gratitude. You celebrated the ability to open up and say yes to blessings. Rumi reminded you that gratitude intoxicates the soul with joy,
and you adopted it as a way of life. You learned to recognize and honor even small manifestations, knowing that gratitude expands them. You became better at receiving, no longer self-sabotaging with feelings of unworthiness, affirming your divine right to all good things. And you understood that receiving is completed by sharing, keeping the abundance circle flowing.
Chapter 7. Setbacks and Alignment. Finally, you strengthened yourself in adversity. Armed with Stoic philosophy that obstacles are the way, and Buddhist compassion for yourself in hard times, you learned to hold your frequency even in challenging moments. Instead of giving up, you now adjust your sails. You know success isn't linear, and each trial fine-tunes your communication with the universe. You stopped seeing setbacks as personal failures and started seeing them as feedback or even hidden blessings. Now, at the end of this journey, you look back and realize that the person who started this adventure is not the same as who you are now. You've gained not only knowledge, but inner transformation. You may notice you speak to yourself with more kindness and more power. Your daily words to yourself, others, and life have become more conscious. Each thought feels like a vibrational decree, each emotion like a sacred messenger. You've become an awakened co-creator. And yet, this isn't a finish line. It's the beginning of a life lived deliberately in dialogue with the divine. From now on, each morning when you wake up, you can tune your frequency, perhaps with a brief meditation or affirmation, and face the day knowing the universe hears and responds. Each night before sleeping, you can review with gratitude the signs and blessings of the day, great or small, strengthening that partnership. Remember always, talking to the universe doesn't mean you'll control every detail of existence. That would be boring and limiting. It means you dance with the mystery, in a kind of cosmic tango where sometimes you lead and sometimes you follow, but at every moment you're in communion. You no longer feel separated, nor a victim of circumstances. You know yourself as a child of the stars, with the same creative power inside you that formed galaxies. Among all the roots we've drawn from, perhaps the most important is love. Behind the highest vibration, the purest intention, the firmest trust, and the sincerest gratitude, there is always love. Loving life, loving the being you are, a divine spark, loving others as co-creators, and even loving the process with its mysteries. That, more than any technique, is the true secret. When you act from love, you speak the universe's language perfectly, for the universe is love in vibration. Close your eyes for a moment and take a deep breath. Feel in your chest that spark of love and gratitude. From there, quietly say to the universe something like, "Thank you, universe, for hearing me. I'm listening to you, too. Let's keep creating beauty together." In that simple declaration, you are both messenger and message, speaker and listener, in unity with all. You've embarked on a beautiful path. Keep walking it with confidence. The entire universe is attuned to your voice. Speak with the truth of your soul, and creation itself will echo back with blessings. So it is, and so it shall be. Spirit Wisdom thanks you for joining us this far. If this message resonated with you, please subscribe, share, and tell us in the comments which of these teachings you'll practice first. And turn on notifications so you don't miss any of this channel's content which accompanies you in your conscious growth and spiritual evolution.